how's it going? And welcome back to my channel. There are a lot of new subscribers since the last video that I made, so if you are new here, my name is Jasmine, and on Thursdays, we talk about all things reading. Over this past year, I have made it a point to read more, which I feel like I have succeeded in. But throughout that time, I realized that there were some books that I read that I didn't end up liking, I had extra copies of, or I simply just feel I don't need anymore. Everything that is going to be a part of my unhaul today is going to be donated to secondhand bookstores or to libraries if they are in good enough of a shape. I don't have too many, which in my opinion is a win, but also somewhat of a call out because if I am going to get through all of these books anytime soon, I'm gonna need to pick up the pace. First up is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I did a review on this book earlier this year, so you can go check out that video for some more details. But in short, the humor was not my cup of tea. I found it pandering and not very informative. I still to this day have no idea how to be a badass. In my opinion, it had a lot of BS self-help language, and I know that this book has helped a lot of people, but it was a DNF for me. I got this book for my 25th birthday when I did my first big book haul. It has some damage from when I bought it, so hopefully another secondhand bookstore will be able to take this guy. The second book is The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. I got this book a year ago when I lived in Montana, and I actually bought it from the new library. They had like this very cute little coffee shop and also a secondhand bookstore on the first floor, which I absolutely loved. It is also where I got my personal copy of The Christmas Carol, which I absolutely love. It is so beautiful, so gorgeous. This adaptation was published in 1965 when the original story was published in 1908. So this is definitely more of like an antique copy, but I got this gorgeous copy for my last birthday, and realistically, I just don't need both. Hopefully this guy can be found by an antique fanatic and live a very happy shelf life there. Next up is a series. Okay, so this might be a little bit misleading because I actually am not going to unhaul this, but I wanted to add this on the list because if it were up to me, I would probably get rid of this series, which is the Thrawn Trilogy by Timothy Zahn. I received this series as a Christmas gift from my husband, who wanted to get me more into Star Wars literature. Initially, I was really excited because I am a really big fan of the Star Wars TV show Rebels, where Thrawn is the main antagonist, which my husband and I really enjoyed watching him. But I didn't realize that Thrawn was fan-made and then eventually made into canon thanks to the TV show. So there are a lot of things that I missed with a lot of character development as well as storylines. I didn't end up finishing the first book mainly because I felt like I was missing some really important pieces and the writing style was just not to my liking. It was definitely more written as a tell and not show kind of literature, but I do feel like this book is not meant for readers, it's meant for Star Wars fans. I asked my husband if he would read these books and he said maybe, and to not get rid of them, even though he doesn't like reading. So we are keeping them until inevitably we don't need them anymore. I do think that eventually they could be donated to a library because they are relatively brand new. And rather than some sticky damage that was done by the packaging when I first initially got this series, they are in tip-top shape. So maybe one day this series will have a home in the library. Last but certainly not least, we have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I actually haven't read this book yet, and I originally got this book as a Black Friday deal because it was on such a good sale on Amazon, not knowing that I was going to be gifted it for Christmas. So now I have 2 copies. But since both of these books are literally brand new, I had an idea about it. I saw this really cute thing that 2 best friends did together where every month they sent their best friend a book to read, and then they would talk about that book later on. And since I haven't read this book yet, I would like to get a little bit of the way through, see if I like it, and then send it to one of my long distance friends and see if she would like to join me in reading along The Secret History. So there you have it. So there you have it. This is my 2024 unhaul, or end of 2023, however you would like to describe it. I know it is a relatively small list of books, but considering that I only read 12 books this year, I am still trying to keep my collection of books relatively small. So until I read a larger majority of my books, the unhauls are going to be smaller. I do have a video coming up where I organize my bookshelf based based on my TBR versus books that I have already read. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching this small video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know any books that you have unhauled this year. Sayonara, you guys, and I will see you next time.